How do you respond to disrespect? This is a crucial question because if there's one thing a man would give his life for, it's disrespect. You often hear that men are logical and women are emotional, but when a man experiences disrespect, he throws logic out the window. You see this all the time in traffic when a small incident occurs, and men begin fighting like there's no tomorrow. This is the grim fact that exists around the world. Many people are riding away from prison cells never to experience freedom again because they handled disrespect improperly at a single moment. It's easy to criticize these individuals, but sooner or later, you will also be put to the test. The Stoics found a way to deal with this problem, so in this video we will go over 8 Stoic lessons to handle disrespect. At some point, someone will say something to you or your loved ones that will make your anger boil, and you might do something foolish. Make sure to stay tuned until the very end, since the final one may be the most significant yet. It's easy to let rage get the better of you and seek retribution when someone ignores or insults you, but doing so puts you in risk since acting violently, even when the temptation seems justified, generally makes matters worse in the long run. Instead, you must maintain your composure, breathe deeply, and step back from the situation. When you do this, you'll see things from a chessboard perspective, almost as if you're watching pieces. This gives you clarity and helps you realize that, most of the time, the situation is not worth responding to in the first place, because the disrespectful act itself is not what hurts people. Disrespect isn't harmful or offensive in and of itself. Rather, it's our perception of and ideas about disrespect that cause us to feel wounded or angry. When someone treats you disrespectfully, it's important to remember that their actions are a reflection of their own ideas and opinions, rather than a divine assessment of your actual worth. Since you are not God, their unfavorable opinion is meaningless. This change in perspective can help you keep your composure and enable you to respond, if necessary, in a more reasonable manner. I'm not suggesting you should put up with or tolerate rudeness. Rather, I'm saying you should manage it with dignity and self-control. By keeping your composure, you demonstrate that you're not readily influenced by outside circumstances. Quantity, define your boundaries. 2. Establish distinct limits. Stoicism is not the same as calling for helplessness or turning into a doormat. When someone treats you disrespectfully, you don't have to take it passively or react out of control. Instead, you can remain composed and confident. Establish firm boundaries to protect your dignity. When someone crosses those boundaries, let them know what went wrong and how you expect to be treated. It also helps to maintain strong eye contact. Don't look down or break eye contact like a coward. Instead, maintain the gaze of a lion. This communicates to others that you take your boundaries seriously and that you respect yourself. Other people will see that you demand respect from them, no matter what. The third, reflect on yourself. Most people like to point fingers at other people because they believe that it's always their fault and that they have never done anything wrong. It's important to always think back on yourself, be brutally honest with yourself, and determine whether you have done anything to deserve disrespect. Ask yourself questions like, is there any truth in what the person said or did? Or did I say or do anything that provoked this situation? You might conclude that you are the one who caused the situation, in which case a simple apology could help you understand it. The fourth, think about the origin. When someone is examine the source insulting or demeaning, pause to think before responding is not so much a judgment of your own ignorance or insecurity, as it is a reflection of their own pain. As Seneca once said, he who takes offense when no offense is intended is a fool, but he who takes offense when offense is intended is also a fool, for the wise man ignores insults. Let it roll off your back and show some sympathy, because some individuals despise themselves, and what they attack in you frequently reflects what they attack in themselves. The fifth, acceptance acknowledgement. You will experience disrespect throughout your life, regardless of who you are, from childhood until old age. No matter how compassionate or resilient you are, disrespect will inevitably come your way. This is because at the end of the day, disrespect is something you cannot escape. Therefore, you must accept it and concentrate on the things you can control. How we react to it is ultimately what gives us power. Recognize that although you have no control over how other people treat you, you do have power over how you respond to disrespect. By embracing the Stoic principle of acceptance, you can free yourself from the needless weight of resentment and wrath. You're not just putting up with disrespect, Rather, you're deliberately choosing to ignore it. You're putting your attention where it matters most, where you can actually make a difference. Life's problems, such as disrespect, can be overcome because they present chances for development and self-mastery. The sixth, using comedy as a tool, a subtle yet effective technique. Humor in response to disrespect is a highly underappreciated means of defusing difficult circumstances. Imagine being treated disrespectfully, and instead of reacting angrily or defensively, you choose to remain lighthearted and retort with a clever joke. This little bit of humor lightens the mood of the exchange, and you'll frequently notice that the person who disregarded you becomes uncomfortable because it's obvious that you mean no harm by being so lighthearted. When you respond humorously to someone who is showing disrespect, you're demonstrating emotional intelligence and self-control. You're choosing to rise above the negativity and create a more positive atmosphere even in the face of disrespect. This strategy illustrates how people frequently show disrespect because of their own insecurities or frustrations. This approach is meant to reduce tension and encourage more polite and constructive relationships, not to minimize or downplay the disrespect. It demonstrates your capacity to remain composed and react imaginatively. Number 7, active practice. Listening with active attention. Although it may seem strange, sometimes the greatest method to deal with disrespect is to simply listen to the other person in order to better understand their problems and worries. Active listening is a superpower. It involves paying attention to the worries or problems of others, even when they are delivered in an unprofessional manner. Rather than responding angrily or ignoring them, strive to listen intently. You want to know the true nature of their difficulties, even if they are covered up by contempt. You're showing that you want to see the wider picture by acting in this way. By really listening, you can reveal the underlying problems and lift the layers of contempt. Once more, this Stoic stance does not justify or excuse disrespect. It's important to remember that behavior is about building empathy and understanding. By actively listening to them, you're demonstrating that you're not allowing their negative behavior to set off a defensive reaction, but rather that you're responding with curiosity and compassion. This isn't always easy to do. You have to maintain your composure and demonstrate emotional intelligence. But if you succeed, you may uncover problems that you otherwise might not have noticed. Choose forgiveness. Most people become furious when they are treated disrespectfully, but the better course of action is to forgive. Stoics hold that forgiveness is a gift you offer to yourself rather than a favor you owe to others. Offer it some thought. Keeping resentment inside you is like being chained, and even though you may believe it is justified, the truth is that it just serves to restrict you. The real secret to inner peace and happiness is forgiveness, but it's not always simple. Sometimes it takes time, and it doesn't mean forgetting what happened. Rather, it means making the decision to let go of hurtful feelings that affect you more than anyone else. We should forgive others, but we should do so judiciously, with compassion and justice. It is not weakness, but power to forgive. It is not surrender, but victory. It is not a sacrifice, but a reward. The ultimate act of self-care and personal development is forgiveness. By the way, remember to show some love by clicking the like and subscribe buttons until the next time if you want to advance in life.